Hi everyone, Drini here, and welcome to my channel. So now that it's been a couple of days after the dump, this is a good time to look at our favorite cryptos just to see where we are. Because when dumps happen, think of it like waves on a beach. Dumps typically represent the waves washing over whatever structures that we have formed. It sort of resets the beach, so to speak. But from there, once a reset happens, then we are able to see new structures that form and map our technical targets accordingly. So my neighbor Alice is a good example of how dumps really wash away a lot of our initial patterns and structures. Before we dive into Alice, I just wanted to make a quick point here. A lot of people, when they look at technical analyst videos, for example, they think that when a technical analyst calls a pattern or calls a structure and its technical targets, it's set in stone. That's actually not the case. The way you have to think about it is markets are always in a constant flux. So what tends to happen is you have a pattern, a technical target is either met or invalidated, then you move on to the next pattern or structure, then it's either a technical target gets met or invalidated, and you go on and you go on. It is never a deterministic thing. And I think a lot of it is also the analyst or the YouTuber's fault because they would confidently call a particular pattern, and then when it doesn't play out, you will never hear it from them again. It's like they pretend nothing happened, and then suddenly they only talk about the technical targets that have been met because of their so-called price prediction. So as a viewer, to really be informed about what's happening is your mindset has to be a particular structure has been formed, but there's always the chance that it gets invalidated. So it's not just knowing about the technical targets for a particular pattern, it is also understanding what price action needs to happen in order for the structure to be invalidated so that you can move on to the next pattern. So just take note, okay? So let's dive into Alice to see what we can see. So what we'll do here is let's review our initial analysis of Alice and then see which patterns have been invalidated. So when we first covered Alice, I did mention that we were forming a horizontal triangle right here and we broke to the upside. So our technical target is the height of this triangle and we were supposed to go to $18.54. I also said that Alice will be making a decision soon because I think before this was a triangle, but as more candles came in, it was actually starting to form a bull flag. So when it formed this bull flag right here, so this is the pole, this is the flag. When price breaks up to the upside, the technical target is usually the height of the pole, which is, again, very similar to our technical target right here of $18.54. Now, what happened was, you started to have a breakdown of the flag. Typically, bullish flags are, bullish only if the price breaks out of here and starts forming new candles to the upside. But that didn't happen. It actually reversed. So when you have a reversal like this, then you can consider this bull flag as invalidated. The technical target is invalidated. Our horizontal triangle still has an active technical target because we were still above this trend line, but unfortunately, because of this price action that broke this trend line and went all the way down, then our horizontal triangle pattern is invalidated and this technical target is invalidated for now. So this doesn't mean that Alice will not get to $18.54 in the future. It just means we now have to see what new patterns are emerging so that we can identify either buying and selling opportunities. Okay, so let's review where we are now. I think one thing to note here is when dumps happen, it is important to understand where price wicks to and where price closes, because that tells you all about the crypto and it also allows you to see potential opportunities in the future. What do I mean by that? When price dumped right here, look at where the candle rested. It rested on key support areas around here. Now you may be wondering why this range. It's because this was the area where a lot of candles were finding support. So the first course of action was when a dump happens like this, you would have a lot of buying pressure because people refer to these support areas as buying opportunities. But the selling pressure was so strong that it eventually broke this support structure. So this whole support structure was now broken. And where did it go? It went all the way down and wicked and stopped right here. Now, why here? Why didn't it just go lower? It's because you now have another support structure right here. How do we know it's a support structure? It's typically a swing high and a swing low. So when price goes up and then rests back a little bit, then you know this is a support level, because you have two candles where the price sort of bottomed out here before continuation. This is why the price wicked all the way here. Then it made its way up. And why did it close right here? Once again, because this is a support area that was just slightly below this particular support area. So you have a lot of support areas when it comes to dumps. And when you understand that, moving forward in the future, when you're planning for worst case scenarios and trying to see where the buying opportunities are, this is where you look to the left. Okay, so just some piece of advice for everyone. So right now, we are still below the EMAs. So we are still below this structure, unfortunately. So there's still a likelihood that we continue to go on a downtrend. But there are some positive signs that we can see for Alice. One is we are starting to form what we call an ascending triangle right here. So an ascending triangle is typically a bullish pattern, but only when you break up to the upside and hold this line of support before continuation. So in Alice's case, if you notice, what happened was after the dump and we started closing around here, price started to rally and then it went sideways for a while. It attempted a breakout, but unfortunately, it did what we call a throwback. So a throwback is when you try to rally but then just go back to where you came from. Tried to break the triangle, but again, we once again had a throwback and closed within the structure. We once again tried to rally up. This time it went all the way above the EMAs, but unfortunately we went on another throwback to the structure. Overall though, I think this is a positive sign for Alice, because what's happening here is the price is starting to coil up. So the bullish scenario here is you want price to sort of coil up the structure right here. Once the EMAs are sort of below the levels where it's easier to break out of it, then you see a breakout right here and hopefully back test it as support. You don't just want things to rocket off into space. You want confirmation by a back test of the support areas via the EMAs before our continuation moving forward. If this scenario happens, just take note that we do have a technical target of the height of the ascending triangle, which is around $15.27. So you may be wondering though, why did these throwbacks happen? Is this a bearish case though? Well, yes and no, because sometimes what can happen is you may have a relief rally that may be too soon. So when people haven't really accumulated enough yet, or when the selling pressure is not over yet, throwbacks tend to happen. Throwbacks also happen when you attempt to rally, but the EMAs were too far away that this rally attempt eventually got rejected when it hit that particular target. So this is the bullish case. What about the bearish case? So the bearish case is if you fall from the structure. So just because you have an ascending triangle right here, it doesn't mean that things will go up immediately. What can happen as well is you can actually break structure. So you can go through here again, but if you break right here, then you have a technical target to the downside. So the tricky thing about ascending triangles is because this support line is moving, it depends on when it breaks out for us to establish a technical target. So for example, if it breaks down here, then sure, this is going to be around $12.70-ish. But if it breaks somewhere closer here, then our technical target will be higher. If it breaks sooner, then our technical target will be lower. But not by a lot. Everything I say here, not financial advice. If you're looking to buy Alice, the most responsible thing to do is wait for the confirmation of the price breakout and wait for a few candles that backtest it as support before continuation. The buying opportunity here, the safe buying opportunity, is actually the EMAs. So whichever EMA that the price rests, that's your buying opportunity because that's the lowest risk option where you know that we have broken out of the negative structure and we have a likelihood of going up to the upside for bullish continuation. If you're a bit of a degenerate and really want to maximize and squeeze out that price, one thing you can do as well is if we break structure right here, then a technical target could be a potential buying opportunity. But there's a risk here that if we go to this technical target, we may still go lower. It's not a guarantee that just because you meet this technical target, that means we go back to the upside. That's actually not how it works. And that's it. Just a quick video on Alice for all of you Alice token holders. I don't own Alice, but I do like the project. I also like how the price action is playing out for Alice because there's a lot of teaching opportunities that we can play around with and I can show you. So we will definitely be tracking Alice moving forward. And that's all for me. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell so you receive updates. If you also have some gaming cryptos that you would like me to look at, just leave it down in the comments below and maybe I'll look at it. In the meantime, take care everyone. Bye bye.